The Law of Correspondence, written and published by Cloudy Library. You can find ebook version below, and feel free to subscribe for more content. Now, let's get into the book. Introduction. The Law of Correspondence, often summarized by the ancient maxim, as above, so below. As below, so above, is a fundamental principle that has shaped philosophical, spiritual, and esoteric thought for millennia. This concept suggests that there exists a harmonious relationship between different planes of existence, from the cosmic to the mundane, from the spiritual to the physical. Originating in ancient wisdom traditions, the Law of Correspondence finds its most famous expression in the Hermetic text known as the Emerald Tablet. However, its influence extends far beyond its Hermetic roots, permeating various cultures, religions, and schools of thought throughout history. At its core, this principle proposes that patterns and relationships observed in one realm of reality are mirrored in others. The microcosm reflects the macrocosm, and vice versa. This idea has profound implications for how we understand the universe, our place within it, and the interconnectedness of all things. In this book, we will explore the depth and breadth of the Law of Correspondence, examining its historical context, philosophical underpinnings, and practical applications. From ancient mysticism to modern scientific theories, we will uncover how this principle continues to shape our understanding of reality and offers a unique lens through which to view the world around us and within us. As we delve into this fascinating subject, we invite readers to open their minds to new perspectives and consider how the Law of Correspondence might illuminate their own experiences and understanding of life's great mysteries. Chapter 1. The Hermetic Principle. The Law of Correspondence, often encapsulated in the phrase, as above, so below. As below, so above, finds its most famous expression in the realm of Hermeticism. This ancient philosophical and spiritual tradition, named after the mythical figure Hermes Trismegistus, has been a wellspring of wisdom and mystical knowledge for centuries. To understand the depth and significance of the Law of Correspondence, we must first delve into its Hermetic roots and explore how this principle has shaped esoteric thought throughout history. Hermeticism, as a philosophical system, emerged in Hellenistic Egypt during the 1st century CE. It blended elements of Greek philosophy, Egyptian theology, and various other mystical traditions of the ancient world. The teachings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus were compiled in a series of texts known as the Hermetica, which became foundational to Western esoteric traditions. Among these texts, one stands out as particularly significant in relation to the Law of Correspondence, the Emerald Tablet. The Emerald Tablet, also known as the Smaragdine Tablet or Tabula Smaragdina, is a short, cryptic text that has captivated the minds of alchemists, philosophers, and spiritual seekers for centuries. While its true origin remains shrouded in mystery, with some legends attributing its authorship to Hermes Trismegistus himself, the text likely emerged sometime between the 6th and 8th centuries CE. Despite its brevity, the Emerald Tablet contains profound wisdom, with the Law of Correspondence at its core. The most famous lines from the Emerald Tablet read, "That which is above is like to that which is below, and that which is below is like to that which is above." This succinct statement encapsulates the essence of the Law of Correspondence, suggesting a fundamental unity and interconnectedness between different levels of reality. It implies that the patterns and principles observed in the macrocosm, the universe at large, are reflected in the microcosm, smaller systems, including human beings, and vice versa. The significance of this principle in Hermetic thought cannot be overstated. It forms the basis for much of Hermetic philosophy and practice, including alchemy, astrology, and various forms of magic. The idea that the universe operates on a set of consistent principles that manifest at all levels of existence provides a framework for understanding the nature of reality and humanity's place within it. In the context of alchemy, the Law of Correspondence was particularly crucial. Alchemists believed that the processes they observed and manipulated in their laboratories were reflections of greater cosmic processes. The transmutation of base metals into gold, for instance, was seen not just as a physical process but as a reflection of spiritual transformation. The alchemist's work on material substances was understood to have a corresponding effect on their own spiritual nature. This principle also underpinned Hermetic astrology, which posited a correspondence between celestial movements and earthly events. The famous Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, was taken quite literally in this context, with the positions and movements of celestial bodies believed to correspond to events and characteristics in the terrestrial realm. As Hermeticism spread and evolved, the law of correspondence found its way into various other esoteric and philosophical traditions. Neoplatonism, for instance, incorporated aspects of this principle into its hierarchical view of reality, where each level of existence was seen as a reflection of the level above it. The influence of Hermetic thought, including the law of correspondence, can also be traced in Jewish Kabbalah, Christian mysticism, and Islamic Sufism. During the Renaissance, there was a revival of interest in Hermetic texts and principles. Scholars and philosophers like Marsilio Ficino and Giordano Bruno played crucial roles in reintroducing Hermetic ideas to European intellectual circles. This resurgence of Hermeticism had a profound impact on Renaissance thought, influencing fields as diverse as art, science, and medicine. The law of correspondence, as understood through the Hermetic lens, offered Renaissance thinkers a way to conceptualize the relationship between humanity and the cosmos. It suggested that by studying nature and the universe, one could gain insight into the divine and the nature of the human soul. This perspective contributed to the Renaissance ideal of the universal man, an individual who sought to understand and embody the harmonious principles of the cosmos. As we move into the modern era, interpretations of the law of correspondence have continued to evolve. The 19th and 20th centuries saw renewed interest in esoteric and occult philosophies, with organizations like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn incorporating Hermetic principles, including the law of correspondence, into their teachings and practices. In the context of modern occultism and New Age spirituality, the law of correspondence is often interpreted as a principle of magical thinking. It's seen as a basis for practices such as sympathetic magic, where manipulating one thing is believed to have a corresponding effect on another related thing. This interpretation has led to both creative applications of the principle and, at times, overly simplistic or literal interpretations that diverge from its more profound philosophical implications. From a philosophical standpoint, the law of correspondence can be seen as a principle of universal analogy. It suggests that there are fundamental patterns or archetypes that recur throughout different levels of existence. This idea has found resonance in various fields of study, from psychology to systems theory. Carl Jung's concept of archetypes, for instance, bears some similarity to the Hermetic understanding of cosmic principles manifesting at different levels of reality. It's important to note that while the law of correspondence has its roots in ancient wisdom and esoteric philosophy, it shouldn't be dismissed as mere superstition or outdated thinking. In fact, many aspects of this principle find echoes in modern scientific understanding. The field of fractal geometry, for instance, reveals self-similar patterns occurring at different scales in nature, from the branching of trees to the structure of coastlines. This scientific observation of recurring patterns at different scales of reality bears a striking resemblance to the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. Similarly, the holographic principle in theoretical physics suggests that the information contained within a volume of space can be described by a theory that operates on the boundary of that region. This concept, while highly technical and rooted in advanced physics, resonates with the Hermetic idea of different levels of reality reflecting and containing information about each other. However, it's crucial to approach these parallels with caution and critical thinking. While there may be intriguing similarities between ancient wisdom and modern scientific concepts, they operate in different frameworks and with different methodologies. The value of the law of correspondence lies not in its literal interpretation, but in its power as a conceptual tool for understanding the interconnectedness of reality. In contemporary spiritual and personal development contexts, the law of correspondence is often applied as a principle for self-reflection and growth. The idea that our inner world corresponds to our outer experiences can be a powerful framework for personal transformation. It encourages individuals to take responsibility for their thoughts and actions, recognizing that changes in one's inner landscape can manifest as changes in one's external reality. This principle also finds application in various holistic healing practices. Many alternative medicine approaches are based on the idea that the body's systems are interconnected and that addressing issues in one area can have corresponding effects elsewhere. While the scientific validity of such approaches varies, they often draw inspiration from the Hermetic principle of correspondence. As we continue to grapple with complex global challenges in the 21st century, the law of correspondence offers a valuable perspective on the interconnectedness of systems. It reminds us that actions at one level can have far-reaching consequences at other levels. This holistic viewpoint can be particularly relevant in addressing issues like climate change, where local actions have global impacts, and vice versa. In conclusion, the Hermetic principle of correspondence, encapsulated in the phrase, as above, so below, has been a powerful and enduring concept throughout history. From its origins in ancient Egypt to its influence on Renaissance thought and its echoes in modern science and spirituality, this principle continues to offer a unique lens through which to view reality. While its interpretations and applications have varied widely, the core idea of an interconnected, reflective universe remains a provocative and potentially transformative concept. As we move forward in our exploration of the law of correspondence, it's important to approach this principle with both openness and critical thinking. Its value lies not in dogmatic acceptance, but in its potential to stimulate new ways of thinking about our relationship with the cosmos and ourselves. Whether viewed through the lens of philosophy, spirituality, or science, the law of correspondence continues to invite us to contemplate the profound interconnectedness of all things and our place within this grand tapestry of existence. Chapter 2. Microcosm and Macrocosm. The concepts of microcosm and macrocosm are fundamental to understanding the law of correspondence. These terms, derived from Greek, encapsulate the idea that there exists a profound relationship between the small-scale world, microcosm, and the large-scale universe, macrocosm. This chapter will explore the depth and breadth of these concepts, their manifestations in nature and the cosmos, and their implications for our understanding of reality. At its core, the microcosm-macrocosm concept suggests that patterns, structures, and processes observed at one scale of existence are mirrored or echoed at other scales. This idea has captivated thinkers, philosophers, and scientists for millennia, offering a framework for understanding the interconnectedness of all things. From the intricate workings of atoms to the vast expanses of galaxies, the principle of microcosm and macrocosm invites us to see the unity underlying the apparent diversity of the universe. In nature, we find numerous examples that seem to support this concept. One of the most striking is the similarity between the structure of atoms and solar systems. While vastly different in scale, both consist of a central body, nucleus or sun, orbited by smaller bodies, electrons or planets. This parallel, while not perfect from a scientific standpoint, has nonetheless served as a powerful metaphor for the correspondence between the very small and the very large. The world of biology offers further examples of microcosm-macrocosm relationships. The structure of a single cell, with its various organelles working in concert, mirrors in many ways the functioning of entire ecosystems. Just as a cell maintains its internal environment through complex processes, so too do ecosystems maintain balance through the interactions of various species and environmental factors. This similarity in organizational principles across different scales of life is a testament to the pervasiveness of certain fundamental patterns in nature. Perhaps one of the most visually striking examples of microcosm-macrocosm correspondence in nature is found in the realm of fractals. Fractals are complex geometric shapes that exhibit self-similarity, meaning that they appear similar at different scales. In nature, we find fractal-like patterns in the branching of trees, the structure of river networks, the shape of coastlines, and even in the distribution of galaxies in the universe. The recurrence of these patterns at different scales suggests a deep underlying principle of organization in nature that transcends specific contexts. Moving beyond the natural world, we find the concept of microcosm and macrocosm deeply embedded in various cultural and philosophical traditions. In many ancient cosmologies, the human being was seen as a microcosm of the universe. This idea is perhaps most famously expressed in the concept of the cosmic man, or universal man, found in traditions ranging from ancient Indian philosophy to Renaissance European thought. In the Vedic tradition of India, for instance, the concept of Brahman as the ultimate reality is often described as being simultaneously the innermost essence of the individual, Atman, and the underlying principle of the entire universe. This idea suggests a fundamental unity between the individual and the cosmos, with the human being seen as a microcosmic reflection of the macrocosmic universe. Similarly, in Chinese philosophy, particularly in Taoism, the human body is often described as a miniature version of the cosmos. The flow of qi, life energy, through the body's meridians is seen as paralleling the flow of cosmic energy through the universe. This correspondence between body and cosmos forms the basis for many traditional Chinese medical and spiritual practices, emphasizing the importance of maintaining harmony between the individual and the greater world. In the Western esoteric tradition, the concept of microcosm and macrocosm played a crucial role in the development of various mystical and occult practices. The famous Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, encapsulates this idea, suggesting that the principles governing the cosmos can be understood by studying their reflections in the earthly realm, and vice versa. This concept formed the basis for much of Renaissance magic and alchemy, where practitioners sought to manipulate earthly substances and forces as a means of effecting change on a cosmic scale. The Renaissance period saw a particular flourishing of microcosm-macrocosm thinking. Thinkers like Paracelsus and Giordano Bruno expanded on these ideas, developing complex systems of correspondence between different levels of reality. In their worldview, understanding the human being as a microcosm was key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. This perspective influenced fields as diverse as medicine, astronomy, and the arts, contributing to the holistic worldview that characterized much of Renaissance thought. As we move into the modern era, the concepts of microcosm and macrocosm have continued to evolve and find new expressions. In the field of psychology, Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious bears some similarity to the microcosm-macrocosm idea. Jung proposed that there exists a layer of the unconscious mind shared by all humans, containing universal archetypes and patterns. In this view, the individual psyche can be seen as a microcosm reflecting the larger macrocosm of collective human experience. In the realm of modern physics, the microcosm-macrocosm concept finds intriguing parallels in theories about the nature of the universe. The discovery that the same fundamental forces govern interactions at both the subatomic and the cosmic scale suggests a profound unity underlying the apparent diversity of the physical world. From the strong and weak nuclear forces operating within atoms to the gravitational forces shaping galaxies, we see a consistency in the laws of physics that echoes the ancient idea of correspondence between microcosm and macrocosm. The field of systems theory, which studies complex systems across various disciplines, also reflects aspects of microcosm-macrocosm thinking. Systems theorists have observed that certain organizational principles and patterns recur across different types and scales of systems, from cells to ecosystems to human societies. This observation of common principles operating at different levels of complexity resonates with the ancient idea of correspondence between different scales of reality. One of the most profound implications of the microcosm-macrocosm concept is its suggestion that the human being can be understood as a reflection of the universe. This idea has far-reaching consequences for how we perceive our place in the cosmos and our relationship to the world around us. If we are indeed microcosms of the greater universe, then our actions, thoughts, and experiences take on a new significance, potentially reflecting and influencing larger cosmic processes. This perspective has been particularly influential in various spiritual and philosophical traditions that emphasize the interconnectedness of all things. The idea that we carry within us a reflection of the entire cosmos can be both humbling and empowering. It suggests that by understanding ourselves, we can gain insight into the nature of the universe, and conversely, that by studying the cosmos, we can learn profound truths about our own nature. In practical terms, the microcosm-macrocosm concept has inspired numerous approaches to personal growth and spiritual development. Many meditation and visualization techniques, for instance, are based on the idea that by aligning our inner world with cosmic principles, we can achieve greater harmony and understanding. Practices like yoga and Tai Chi often incorporate the idea of aligning the body's energy systems with universal energy flows, reflecting the microcosm-macrocosm correspondence. The concept also has implications for how we approach health and healing. Many holistic health practices are based on the idea that the body is a microcosm of the larger world, and that maintaining balance within the body reflects and contributes to balance in the greater environment. This perspective encourages a more comprehensive approach to health, considering not just physical symptoms but also emotional, mental, and even spiritual factors. In the realm of environmental thought, the microcosm-macrocosm concept offers a powerful framework for understanding our relationship with the planet. Viewing the Earth as a macrocosm of which we are a part encourages a more holistic and responsible approach to environmental stewardship. It suggests that our actions on a local scale can have far-reaching consequences for the global ecosystem, reinforcing the importance of sustainable living practices. As we continue to explore and understand the universe, the concept of microcosm and macrocosm remains a valuable tool for making sense of the vast complexity we encounter. It encourages us to look for connections and patterns across different scales and domains of existence, potentially leading to new insights and discoveries. While we must be cautious about drawing overly simplistic parallels, the basic principle of seeking correspondence between different levels of reality can be a powerful catalyst for scientific and philosophical inquiry. In conclusion, the concepts of microcosm and macrocosm offer a rich and multifaceted lens through which to view reality. From their roots in ancient philosophy to their modern expressions in science and spirituality, these ideas continue to shape how we understand our place in the cosmos. They remind us of the profound interconnectedness of all things and invite us to see ourselves as integral parts of a greater whole. As we move forward in our exploration of the law of correspondence, the microcosm-macrocosm concept serves as a foundation for understanding the myriad ways in which different levels of reality reflect and influence each other. It challenges us to think beyond the apparent separateness of things and to seek the underlying unity that connects all aspects of existence. In doing so, it opens up new possibilities for understanding ourselves, our world, and our place in the vast tapestry of the cosmos. Chapter 3. Spiritual and Material Realms. The relationship between the spiritual and material realms has been a subject of contemplation, debate, and exploration throughout human history. This chapter delves into the intricate connection between these seemingly disparate aspects of existence, examining how spiritual principles manifest in the physical world and how this understanding has been applied across various religious and spiritual traditions. We will explore the practical applications of this knowledge in personal growth and development, offering insights into how individuals can bridge the gap between the seen and unseen aspects of reality. At its core, the concept of spiritual and material realms suggests that existence is not limited to the physical world we perceive with our senses. Instead, it proposes that there is an unseen, intangible dimension that interacts with and influences the material world. This idea is not unique to any single culture or belief system, but is found in various forms across the globe, from ancient shamanic practices to modern philosophical thought. In many traditions, the spiritual realm is conceived as a higher or more fundamental level of reality, from which the material world emerges or is sustained. This perspective sees the physical universe as a manifestation or reflection of spiritual principles or energies. The challenge, then, is to understand how these two realms interact and influence each other, and how we, as beings existing in both realms, can navigate this complex interplay. One of the most common ways in which the relationship between spiritual and material realms is expressed is through the concept of divine creation or emanation. In monotheistic religions such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, the material world is often viewed as the creation of a transcendent God. The physical universe, in this view, is seen as a reflection of divine will and wisdom, with natural laws and physical phenomena embodying spiritual truths. In Eastern traditions, such as Hinduism and Buddhism, the relationship between spiritual and material realms is often described in terms of illusion, Maya, and ultimate reality, Brahman or Nirvana. The material world, while acknowledged as real on one level, is seen as a temporary manifestation of a deeper, unchanging spiritual reality. This perspective encourages practitioners to look beyond the apparent solidity of the physical world to perceive the underlying spiritual truths. The concept of qi or qi in Chinese philosophy and medicine provides another perspective on the interaction between spiritual and material realms. Qi is understood as a vital energy that flows through all things, bridging the gap between the spiritual and physical. Practices like acupuncture and tai chi are based on the idea of manipulating this energy flow to affect both physical health and spiritual well-being, demonstrating a practical application of the principle of correspondence between realms. In many indigenous traditions, the natural world is seen as inherently spiritual, with no clear distinction between physical and spiritual realms. Mountains, rivers, animals, and plants are often viewed as having spiritual essences or as manifestations of spiritual beings. This holistic worldview emphasizes the interconnectedness of all aspects of existence and has profound implications for how these cultures interact with their environment. The idea of spiritual principles manifesting in the physical world has been a driving force behind many mystical and esoteric traditions. Alchemy, for instance, while often misunderstood as merely an attempt to transmute base metals into gold, was in many cases a spiritual discipline that used physical processes as metaphors for inner transformation. The alchemist's work in the laboratory was seen as a parallel to the purification and elevation of the soul, with physical transformations corresponding to spiritual ones. In the Western esoteric tradition, the concept of correspondence between spiritual and material realms is often expressed through systems of symbolism and ritual. Magical practices, for example, are often based on the idea that manipulating physical symbols or performing specific actions can have effects in the spiritual realm, which in turn manifest changes in the material world. While the efficacy of such practices is a matter of debate, they represent a long-standing attempt to bridge the gap between spiritual and material realities. The relationship between spiritual and material realms has also been explored in more philosophical and metaphysical terms. Plato's theory of forms, for instance, posits a realm of perfect, immaterial ideas or forms of which the physical world is but an imperfect copy. This concept has had a profound influence on Western thought, shaping how many thinkers conceptualize the relationship between the ideal and the real, the spiritual and the material. In more recent times, the field of quantum physics has offered intriguing parallels to ancient spiritual concepts about the nature of reality. The discovery that the act of observation can influence the behavior of subatomic particles has led some to draw comparisons with spiritual teachings about the power of consciousness to shape reality. While it's important to be cautious about drawing direct parallels between scientific theories and spiritual concepts, these findings have sparked renewed interest in exploring the relationship between mind, matter, and spirit. The idea of spiritual principles manifesting in the physical world has significant implications for personal growth and development. Many spiritual traditions teach that by aligning oneself with spiritual laws or principles, one can bring about positive changes in their material circumstances. This concept is at the heart of many practices of prayer, meditation, and visualization, which aim to harness the power of thought and intention to influence physical reality. The principle of as above, so below suggests that patterns and truths exist at all levels of reality. Applied to personal development, this idea encourages individuals to see their own lives as microcosms reflecting larger spiritual truths. Personal challenges and growth experiences can be viewed as reflections of universal principles, providing opportunities for deeper understanding and spiritual evolution. Many healing practices are based on the idea of addressing spiritual or energetic imbalances to affect physical healing. Reiki, for example, works with the concept of universal life energy to promote healing on physical, emotional, and spiritual levels. While the scientific basis for such practices is often debated, many individuals report significant benefits from approaches that address both the spiritual and material aspects of health. The concept of manifestation, popular in many New Age and spiritual circles, is another example of how ideas about the relationship between spiritual and material realms are applied in personal development contexts. This philosophy suggests that by aligning one's thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, spiritual aspects, with one's desires, one can attract corresponding experiences and circumstances in the physical world. While this idea has been criticized for oversimplification, it reflects a long-standing belief in the power of spiritual practices to influence material reality. In the realm of psychology, the relationship between inner psychological states and outer circumstances has been explored by various schools of thought. Carl Jung's concept of synchronicity, for instance, suggests meaningful coincidences between inner and outer events that are not causally related. This idea points to a deeper connection between psychological and physical realities, echoing more traditional spiritual concepts about the interplay between inner and outer worlds. The exploration of the relationship between spiritual and material realms also has profound ethical implications. If we understand the physical world as a manifestation of spiritual principles, it follows that our actions in the material world have spiritual consequences. This perspective can lead to a greater sense of responsibility for our choices and their impacts, not just on a physical level, but on a spiritual one as well. Environmental ethics, in particular, can be deeply influenced by an understanding of the spiritual-material relationship. Viewing the natural world as a manifestation of spiritual reality can inspire a more reverent and responsible approach to environmental stewardship. Many indigenous cultures, with their holistic worldviews, offer powerful examples of how this understanding can shape sustainable and harmonious relationships with the environment. The concept of karma, found in various Eastern traditions, provides another framework for understanding the relationship between spiritual principles and material manifestations. Karma suggests that our actions have consequences that extend beyond the immediate physical effects, shaping our future experiences and circumstances. This idea emphasizes the interconnectedness of all aspects of existence and the responsibility we bear for our choices. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, the exploration of the relationship between spiritual and material realms continues to offer valuable insights. In a world often characterized by materialism and disconnection, the recognition of a deeper, spiritual dimension to reality can provide a sense of meaning and purpose. It encourages us to look beyond surface appearances and to consider the deeper principles at work in our lives and in the world around us. The challenge, of course, is to find a balanced approach that acknowledges both the spiritual and material aspects of existence without neglecting either. Overemphasis on the spiritual can lead to a disconnection from practical realities, while a purely materialistic worldview can leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled. The wisdom lies in recognizing the interplay between these realms and learning to navigate both with awareness and intention. In conclusion, the relationship between spiritual and material realms is a rich and complex subject that has fascinated humanity for millennia. From ancient religious texts to modern scientific theories, we continue to grapple with questions about the nature of reality and our place within it. By exploring how spiritual principles manifest in the physical world, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of existence and our own potential for growth and transformation. As we move forward in our exploration of the law of correspondence, the insights gained from examining the spiritual-material relationship provide a foundation for understanding the interconnectedness of all aspects of reality. They remind us that our inner worlds and outer experiences are intimately linked, and that by cultivating awareness of these connections, we can live more intentional, meaningful, and harmonious lives. Chapter 4. Scientific Parallels. The law of correspondence, with its ancient roots in esoteric and spiritual traditions, might seem at odds with modern scientific understanding. However, as our knowledge of the universe expands, intriguing parallels have emerged between this age-old principle and cutting-edge scientific theories. This chapter explores how contemporary scientific discoveries and concepts, particularly in the fields of quantum physics, fractal geometry, and holographic theory, resonate with the idea of as above, so below. While it's crucial to approach these parallels with critical thinking and avoid oversimplification, the similarities offer fascinating insights into the nature of reality and the potential convergence of ancient wisdom and modern science. Quantum physics, the branch of science that deals with the behavior of matter and energy at the molecular, atomic, nuclear, and even smaller microscopic levels, has revolutionized our understanding of the fundamental nature of reality. One of the most striking aspects of quantum theory is the principle of quantum entanglement, which describes how particles that have interacted with each other can become connected in such a way that the quantum state of each particle cannot be described independently of the others, even when the particles are separated by a large distance. This phenomenon, which Einstein famously referred to as spooky action at a distance, suggests a level of interconnectedness in the universe that resonates with the law of correspondence. The observer effect in quantum physics also presents intriguing parallels to the ancient idea that consciousness plays a role in shaping reality. In quantum experiments, the act of observation can influence the behavior of particles, suggesting that the observer and the observed are not as separate as classical physics would have us believe. This concept echoes the esoteric notion that our consciousness interacts with and shapes the world around us, a key aspect of many interpretations of the law of correspondence. Another quantum phenomenon that aligns with correspondences between different levels of reality is the concept of quantum superposition. This principle states that a quantum system can exist in multiple states simultaneously until it is observed or measured. The famous thought experiment of Schrödinger's cat, which is both alive and dead until the box is opened, illustrates this concept. This idea of multiple potential realities coexisting until collapsed by observation bears some similarity to esoteric concepts of multiple planes of existence or parallel realities. The quantum concept of non-locality, which suggests that particles can instantaneously influence each other regardless of the distance between them, challenges our classical notions of cause and effect. This principle resonates with the idea in the law of correspondence that events or changes in one realm can have immediate effects in another, seemingly unconnected realm. Moving from the quantum realm to the macro scale, the field of fractal geometry provides another fascinating parallel to the law of correspondence. Fractals, mathematical sets that exhibit a repeating pattern displayed at every scale, were first described by Benoit Mandelbrot in the 1970s. These complex geometric shapes demonstrate self-similarity, meaning that they appear similar at different scales of magnification. In nature, fractal-like patterns are ubiquitous. We see them in the branching patterns of trees and river systems, in the structure of snowflakes, in the spirals of seashells, and even in the distribution of galaxies in the universe. This recurrence of similar patterns at different scales of observation strongly echoes the as above, so below principle, suggesting a fundamental organizational principle that transcends scale. The study of fractals has led to new understanding in various scientific fields. In biology, fractal patterns have been observed in the structure of DNA, the branching of blood vessels, and the organization of neural networks. In ecology, fractal analysis has been used to study the distribution of species in ecosystems. These applications demonstrate how a single principle can manifest across different scales and systems, a key tenet of the law of correspondence. The concept of self-organized criticality, developed by physicist Per Bach, provides another interesting parallel. This theory suggests that complex systems naturally evolve towards a critical state where a small event can trigger a much larger event. This phenomenon is observed in various systems, from sandpiles to earthquakes to forest fires. The idea that similar principles govern systems at vastly different scales aligns with the correspondences proposed in ancient wisdom traditions. Another scientific concept that resonates with the law of correspondence is the holographic principle, first proposed by Gerard T. Hooft and later expanded by Leonard Susskind. This principle, which emerges from string theory and quantum gravity research, suggests that the information contained within a region of space can be described by a theory that operates on the boundary of that region. In other words, the information about a three-dimensional volume of space can be encoded on a two-dimensional surface, much like a hologram. While highly technical and still theoretical, the holographic principle has profound implications for our understanding of the universe. It suggests that our three-dimensional reality might be a projection of information stored on a two-dimensional surface, much like a hologram is a three-dimensional projection of information stored on a two-dimensional film. This concept of reality as a projection or reflection of a more fundamental level of information bears striking similarity to ancient ideas about the material world as a manifestation of spiritual or energetic realms. The holographic principle has led to the development of the holographic universe theory, which proposes that the entire universe can be seen as a hologram. This theory suggests that, like a hologram, each part of the universe contains information about the whole. This idea of the part containing the whole is a fundamental aspect of the law of correspondence, expressed in the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, as below, so above. In the field of neuroscience, the holographic principle has found application in theories about how the brain stores and processes information. Carl Pribram's holonomic brain theory suggests that memories are encoded not in specific neurons, but in patterns of neural activity distributed throughout the brain, much like information in a hologram is distributed throughout the holographic film. This theory provides a potential scientific basis for understanding phenomena like memory and consciousness in a way that aligns with more holistic, correspondence-based models of reality. Systems theory, which studies complex systems in nature, society, and science, also offers parallels to the law of correspondence. The observation that similar organizational principles and patterns recur across different types of systems, from cells to ecosystems to societies, suggests a fundamental unity underlying diverse phenomena. This resonates with the idea of correspondences between different levels or aspects of reality. The concept of emergence in complex systems theory is particularly relevant. Emergence refers to the way complex systems and patterns arise out of a multiplicity of relatively simple interactions. The idea that simple rules can give rise to complex behavior at a higher level of organization echoes the esoteric notion of fundamental principles manifesting in increasingly complex forms at different levels of reality. In the realm of cosmology, the concept of the cosmic web provides another intriguing parallel. Observations of the large-scale structure of the universe reveal that galaxies are distributed in a web-like pattern, with filaments of galaxies surrounding vast cosmic voids. Interestingly, this pattern bears a striking resemblance to the structure of neurons in the brain, or the mycelial networks of fungi in the soil. While these similarities don't necessarily imply a direct correspondence, they do suggest the recurrence of certain organizational principles across vastly different scales. The field of network science, which studies complex networks such as biological ecosystems, social networks, and the internet, has revealed similar patterns of organization across diverse systems. The discovery of small world and scale-free properties in many natural and artificial networks suggests common underlying principles of organization, resonating with the idea of correspondence between different realms or levels of reality. It's important to note that while these scientific concepts offer fascinating parallels to the law of correspondence, they operate within the framework of empirical science, which is fundamentally different from the esoteric or spiritual contexts in which the law of correspondence originated. Scientists develop theories based on observable evidence and mathematical models, subjecting these theories to rigorous testing and peer review. The parallels we observe should be approached with critical thinking, avoiding the temptation to draw overly simplistic or literal connections. Moreover, it's crucial to recognize that scientific theories, no matter how well established, are always subject to revision in light of new evidence. The history of science is full of examples of theories that seemed unshakable being overturned or significantly modified. As such, While the parallels between modern scientific concepts and ancient wisdom are intriguing, they should be viewed as points of reflection and inspiration rather than as direct validations of esoteric ideas. That said, the emergence of these parallels raises interesting questions about the nature of human knowledge and understanding. Is it possible that ancient thinkers, through intuition, observation, or methods we don't fully understand, grasped fundamental truths about the nature of reality that science is only now beginning to approach from a different angle? Or do these parallels simply reflect the human mind's tendency to recognize patterns and seek unity in diversity? Whatever the case, the exploration of these scientific parallels offers a valuable opportunity for dialogue between different ways of knowing and understanding the world. It encourages us to approach both ancient wisdom and modern science with open minds, recognizing that each may have valuable insights to offer in our quest to understand the nature of reality. As we continue to push the boundaries of scientific knowledge, it's likely that we'll uncover even more intriguing parallels with ancient wisdom traditions. The challenge lies in navigating these parallels with discernment, neither dismissing them out of hand nor accepting them uncritically. By maintaining a balance of openness and critical thinking, we can use these parallels as a springboard for deeper exploration and understanding of our complex and mysterious universe. The scientific parallels to the law of correspondence offer a fascinating bridge between ancient wisdom and modern understanding. From the bizarre world of quantum physics to the intricate patterns of fractal geometry, from the mind-bending implications of the holographic principle to the recurring patterns observed in complex systems, we find echoes of the ancient idea that fundamental principles manifest across different levels of reality. As we continue to explore these connections, we open up new possibilities for understanding ourselves, our world, and our place in the cosmos. Chapter 5. Applying the Law of Correspondence. The Law of Correspondence, with its ancient wisdom and modern parallels, is not merely a philosophical concept to be pondered in the abstract. It offers a practical framework for personal growth, spiritual development, and understanding the world around us. This chapter explores various ways in which the principle of as above, so below can be applied in everyday life, from meditation and visualization techniques to manifestation practices and healing modalities. We will also consider the ethical implications of working with this law and the importance of approaching these practices with responsibility and discernment. One of the most fundamental ways to apply the law of correspondence is through meditation. By turning our attention inward, we can begin to observe the connections between our inner states and outer experiences. Many meditation traditions teach that the mind is a microcosm of the universe, and that by understanding and mastering our own consciousness, we can gain insight into the nature of reality itself. Practices such as mindfulness meditation, which involves observing thoughts and sensations without judgment, can help us become more aware of the subtle correspondences between our inner world and our external circumstances. Visualization is another powerful tool for working with the law of correspondence. This technique is based on the idea that by creating clear, vivid mental images, we can influence our external reality. Visualization practices often involve imagining desired outcomes or states of being as if they are already present. For example, an athlete might visualize a perfect performance before a competition, or a person seeking healing might imagine their body in a state of perfect health. The principle at work here is that by aligning our inner vision with our desired external reality, we can help bring that reality into manifestation. The practice of affirmations is closely related to visualization and is another way to apply the law of correspondence. Affirmations are positive statements that are repeated regularly to reinforce desired beliefs or outcomes. The idea is that by consciously choosing and repeating thoughts that align with our goals, we can reshape our subconscious beliefs and, consequently, our external experiences. This practice is based on the correspondence between our thoughts and beliefs and our lived reality. The concept of manifestation, which has gained popularity in recent years, is essentially an application of the law of correspondence. Manifestation practices typically involve a combination of techniques such as visualization, affirmation, and aligned action. all based on the principle that our inner state and focus can attract corresponding external circumstances. While it's important to approach manifestation with a balanced perspective, recognizing the role of effort and external factors, many people find these practices to be powerful tools for personal growth and achieving goals. In the realm of healing, many alternative and complementary therapies are based on principles that align with the law of correspondence. Energy healing modalities such as Reiki, for instance, work with the idea that there is a correspondence between the body's energy system and its physical health. Practitioners believe that by manipulating the energy field, they can affect changes in physical well-being. Similarly, practices like acupuncture are based on the idea of correspondence between specific points on the body and various organs and systems. Holistic healing approaches often emphasize the connection between emotional, mental, and physical states, reflecting the principle of correspondence between different aspects of our being. For example, practices like yoga and tai chi work with the idea that physical postures and movements can influence our mental and emotional states, and vice versa. By recognizing and working with these correspondences, practitioners aim to achieve overall balance and well-being. The field of psychoneuroimmunology, which studies the interaction between psychological processes and the nervous and immune systems, provides a scientific basis for understanding some of these holistic approaches. Research in this field has shown that our thoughts and emotions can indeed influence our physical health, supporting the idea of correspondence between mental and physical states. In the realm of personal development, the law of correspondence can be applied through practices of self-reflection and shadow work. The principle suggests that what we observe in the external world can often be a reflection of our inner state. By paying attention to our reactions to people and situations, we can gain insight into our own unconscious patterns and beliefs. This awareness can be a powerful tool for personal growth, allowing us to identify and work on aspects of ourselves that we might otherwise overlook. The practice of journaling can be a valuable tool in this process of self-discovery. By regularly recording our thoughts, feelings, and experiences, we can begin to notice patterns and correspondences between our inner states and outer circumstances. This practice can help us become more conscious of how we are creating our reality and where we might need to make changes. In relationships, the law of correspondence can offer valuable insights. The principle suggests that the dynamics we experience in our relationships often reflect our own inner state and beliefs. For example, if we struggle with trust issues, we might find ourselves attracting or being attracted to untrustworthy people. By recognizing these correspondences, we can take responsibility for our part in relationship dynamics and work on healing and transforming ourselves, which in turn can lead to healthier relationships. The law of correspondence can also be applied in leadership and organizational contexts. Leaders who understand this principle recognize that the culture and dynamics of an organization often reflect the consciousness and values of its leadership. By working on their own personal development and embodying the qualities they wish to see in their organization, leaders can positively influence the entire system. This approach aligns with the idea that change at one level can affect change at other levels. In education, applying the law of correspondence can lead to more holistic and effective learning approaches. Recognizing the correspondence between physical, emotional, and mental states, educators can create learning environments and experiences that engage students on multiple levels. For example, incorporating movement and hands-on experiences can enhance cognitive learning, reflecting the correspondence between physical and mental activities. The principle of correspondence can also be applied in creative pursuits. Many artists and writers speak of tapping into universal themes or archetypes in their work, reflecting the idea that individual creative expressions can resonate with broader patterns or truths. By cultivating awareness of these correspondences, creators can produce work that speaks to universal human experiences and emotions. In the realm of problem-solving and innovation, the law of correspondence can inspire new approaches. By looking for patterns and principles that apply across different scales or domains, we can often find novel solutions to challenges. This is the basis of biomimicry, a field that seeks to solve human problems by emulating nature's time-tested patterns and strategies. This approach recognizes the correspondence between natural systems and human design systems, leading to more sustainable and efficient solutions. While the applications of the law of correspondence can be powerful and transformative, it's important to approach these practices with discernment and ethical consideration. One potential pitfall is the temptation to oversimplify complex situations or to assume direct, literal correspondences where they may not exist. It's crucial to maintain a balanced perspective, recognizing that while inner states and outer circumstances may be connected, many factors contribute to our experiences and outcomes. Another ethical consideration is the potential for these ideas to be misused or misinterpreted in ways that blame individuals for circumstances that may be beyond their control. While personal responsibility is an important aspect of working with the law of correspondence, it's essential to recognize the role of systemic factors, luck, and other external influences in shaping our lives. A balanced approach acknowledges both personal agency and the complex web of factors that influence our experiences. It's also important to consider the potential psychological impact of these practices. While visualization and affirmation can be powerful tools for some individuals, especially those dealing with mental health challenges, these practices might lead to unrealistic expectations or feelings of failure if desired outcomes aren't achieved. It's crucial to approach these techniques with self-compassion and to seek professional guidance when needed. In applying the law of correspondence to healing practices, ethical considerations are particularly important. While many people find alternative healing modalities helpful, it's crucial that these approaches are used in conjunction with, not as a replacement for, evidence-based medical care when needed. Practitioners should be clear about the limitations of their modalities and should never discourage clients from seeking necessary medical treatment. The application of the law of correspondence in manifesting or attracting desired outcomes also requires ethical consideration. It's important to reflect on whether our desires and goals are aligned with our highest values and the greater good. The principle of correspondence suggests that what we put out into the world will be reflected back to us, emphasizing the importance of cultivating positive intentions and actions. As we work with the law of correspondence, it's valuable to cultivate an attitude of curiosity and openness. Rather than rigidly adhering to specific interpretations or applications, we can approach this principle as a framework for exploration and discovery. By remaining open to new insights and willing to adjust our understanding as we gain new experiences, we can continue to deepen our engagement with this ancient wisdom. Ultimately, the most profound application of the law of correspondence may be in how it shapes our overall worldview. By recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and the reflection of universal principles at all levels of existence, we can develop a more holistic and integrated perspective on life. This understanding can lead to greater compassion, as we recognize our fundamental connection to all beings, and to a deeper sense of responsibility for our thoughts, actions, and their impact on the world around us. The law of correspondence offers a rich framework for personal growth, healing, and understanding the world around us. From meditation and visualization to healing practices and problem-solving approaches, this principle can be applied in myriad ways to enhance our lives and our impact on the world. As we work with these ideas, it's crucial to approach them with discernment, ethical consideration, and an open mind. By doing so, we can harness the wisdom of this ancient principle in ways that are relevant and beneficial in our modern world, fostering personal transformation and contributing to positive change in our communities and beyond. Conclusion. The law of correspondence, encapsulated in the ancient axiom, as above, so below, as below, so above, offers a profound framework for understanding the interconnectedness of all aspects of existence. Throughout this book, we've explored the historical roots of this concept, its manifestations in nature and the cosmos, its parallels in modern scientific thought, and its practical applications in personal growth and spiritual development. We began by examining the Hermetic origins of this principle, tracing its influence through various philosophical and esoteric traditions. We then delved into the concepts of microcosm and macrocosm, exploring how patterns and principles recur at different scales of existence, from the atomic to the cosmic. Our journey continued with an exploration of the relationship between spiritual and material realms, considering how unseen principles manifest in the physical world. We then ventured into the realm of modern science, discovering intriguing parallels between ancient wisdom and cutting-edge theories in quantum physics, fractal geometry, and holographic principles. Finally, we explored practical applications of the law of correspondence, from meditation and visualization techniques to healing practices and approaches to personal transformation. We also considered the ethical implications of working with this principle, emphasizing the importance of balanced and responsible application. As we conclude, it's clear that the law of correspondence continues to offer valuable insights in our modern world. It provides a holistic perspective that can help us navigate the complexities of life, fostering a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. This ancient wisdom, when combined with modern knowledge and applied with discernment, has the potential to transform our lives and our world. The law of correspondence invites us to see the unity underlying the apparent diversity of existence. It challenges us to recognize the profound connections between our inner worlds and outer experiences, between the minutiae of our daily lives and the grand cosmic processes. In doing so, it offers a path to greater awareness, compassion, and harmony. As we move forward, carrying the insights gained from this exploration, we are encouraged to remain open to the myriad ways in which the principle of as above, so below might manifest in our lives. By cultivating awareness of these correspondences, we can align ourselves more fully with the underlying principles of the universe, contributing to our own growth and the well-being of the world around us. In essence, the law of correspondence reminds us that we are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of it. Our thoughts, actions, and very being resonate with the cosmic symphony. As we attune ourselves to this grand harmony, we open ourselves to profound transformation and the realization of our highest potential.